What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to the Monday night giveaway stream and lots of Q&A. In the chat, Toxic FPV, Guillermo, Rick Cepeda, Chomper, Richard, Obese Quads, Frank Nicholas, Abraham, Keith Drones, Richard, Freelo Joe, Huff19, Toxic again, June Loco, Dan Richmond, B-Man, Tiago Ramos is in the house moderating the living crap out of you bad. You're not bad. You guys are great. Don Lads, B-Man, Free Range Chicken, Marcos, Dan Richmond, and I'm only going to read one screen of them, so you got to get here early if you want to get your name read. If you'd like to talk directly to me, you can either do a super chat or you can just type my name. If you type my name and if you spell it right and if you don't put a space between Ciotti and FPV, it'll light up in orange, just like it did here for B-Man. And I really try hard and usually succeed in reading all of those comments. If you'd like to support me, because I am doing this full-time now and I do need everybody's help, everybody's got to kick in a little bit and I can do this full-time, head on over to CiottiFPV.com. There's a bunch of affiliate links there if you're ever doing an order on Amazon or GetFPV or Umagod's website or Banggood, or there's a bunch. All you got to do is hit my affiliate link. You don't even have to buy the item that's at that affiliate link. Technically, I think you could go in and hit all those affiliate links now, and it would put CiottiFPV into your shopping cart there, and then the next time you did the order, it might work. But the safest thing to do it is to try to remember to do it right before your order. I forget, so I'd expect you guys to forget too, but some of you have been remembering, and it's free money, and that's fantastic, because there's a roof that needs to stay up there over my head. There's also a link to the Patreon channel. Patreon is where 3 of the 4 giveaways are going to be done tonight, so that basically I run the majority of the giveaways through Patreon so that you guys can pick which tier you want to be on. There's a $5 tier for whoop and toothpick parts. There's a $10 tier for 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewhoop stuff. There's a $20 a month tier for 5-inch parts. So if you only have 5-inch rigs, you can just join the 5-inch tier, and you won't get a bunch of, whenever you win something, it's always the wrong thing, or it's something that you can't use, right? That's just sort of how it works. And I'm trying to prevent that because, yeah, you use up all your luck when you win, and hopefully you at least get something good. And then the 4th one is going to be a Super Chat-based giveaway. So we're going to do that at like 10:30 or so. If you want to get in on the Patreon giveaways, go now. Go to CiottiFPV.com, hit the Patreon button, join the Patreon. It'll give you the different tiers, and you can, and yeah, we'll get you on tonight's giveaways. That is a monthly number too, and I do these giveaways every other week. So for that $5, $10, $20, you're going to get entered into 2 giveaways this Monday, and then 2 Mondays from now. There's also a link over there to Fiverr. I want to help you fly better. I want to help you build better. I want to help you edit better. I've got a bunch of gigs over there. A bunch of awesome folks, most recently T-Bird, have hired me over there, and they've loved it. And yeah, I want to do more of it. I really want to do more of the flight instruction stuff, guys. I was a high performance driving instructor with autocross and track days for almost 10 years. And in that time, I got pretty good, like, as an instructor / coach, and I've been flying FPV for about 4 years, and I'm a half-decent pilot. So if you look at my flight footage and I'm better than you, and you want to get as good as me, there's a way to do it. And I would love to, that's sort of one of my main goals. I want to get the FPVinstructor.com off the ground this year, because I really enjoy it. I really do genuinely enjoy helping people just do hard things better. That's what she said. Also, there's a link to Etsy. The Etsy store is going to get a bunch of new stuff. At the moment, there's some random hardware, and then there's all my stickers over there on the Etsy store. That's Clam Man. He never wants you to give up. This is actually a magnet. You can stick it to the trunk of your car. The Collective, some holographic jams. This is super cool, 80s, 90s style. Yeah, lots of fun stuff over there. And I'm going to be putting a bunch of new super random hardware up over there. Most excitingly, Hex Standoffs. Hex Standoffs are really nice because you can put a wrench on the standoff and crank the standoff down into the base plate, in addition to cranking the hardware up into the bottom of the arms or the sandwich plate. And it really helps to not have those arm screws back out, especially if, so like certain frames like the Glide, the tolerances are really tight. So when you screw the arm hardware up from the bottom, it kind of threads into the arm a little bit. So what can happen is on like the first assembly, it'll thread in so hard that unless you crank the standoff down in addition, the standoffs can be like not super tight on the top. And yeah, the Hex Standoffs really, really help with that. And I've got a whole bunch. I've got a bunch of 20s, 25s, and 30s. And yeah, they'll be up on the Etsy store soon, hopefully tomorrow. And then the last thing over there is Teespring. If you want to get a CiottiFPV shirt, that's not what this one is. We're going to talk about this one in a minute. I have shirts that Kristen has designed over on the Teespring store, which I haven't even gotten, but we picked all of the more premium shirts, so treat yourself. They're really, really nice quality shirts, and Teespring's printing quality is like kind of second to none, unlike Redbubble. So yeah, head on over there if you need clothes. In the chat, you guys are already tagging. I think that's all the stuff that helps me pay bills around here, right? Sure, why not? In the chat, B-Man tagged me, Don Lads tagged me, Free Range Chicken tagged me, Carbon Cage saying hey, Dronny5FPV saying hello, Guillermo saying that I need an intro and that he's going to make it for me. Sounds good. Let's do it. Guillermo, I'll trade you hours on Fiverr for it. FPV Trucker says what's cracking. Scrolling. YouTube did the thing. Scrolling back up to try to find my place. You couldn't give me like 5 minutes, YouTube? Alright, it's been 11 minutes, so I guess. There's where I was. Dan Richmond, Todd Tube says we should start a new Atlanta crew. The old one is mostly gone. Todd Tube, I actually have a Facebook group called the New Atlanta Crew, believe it or not. That I haven't really done anything with, but I had a lightning bolt hit my brain one day. I started the Facebook group and then I forgot to push it. Rick Spada says, I see you got your package today. Yes, Rick, thank you for this. This shirt was sent to me by Rick Zapata. Rick, what's, I mean, I know what the acronym means, but, what is this? Yeah, what's this, Rick? Loving this. If you guys don't know what FPV Exchange it is, get your ass over there, fpvexchange.com. It is the coolest way to trade and sell your gear. When you want to sell a piece of your gear, you don't have to take pictures and write a description and deal with 1,000 assholes lowballing you on Facebook Marketplace. You just go to FPV Exchange, you click a couple buttons, it imports everything you've ever bought from all of the major sites, Pyrodrone, GetFPV, RDQ, yada, yada, yada. It imports every single past purchase into one spot. So not only can you then just flip a switch and whatever item you're trying to sell is for sale, but it's also kind of nice to have one big spot with everything you've ever bought. I've been using it like just kind of as a database, and it's super cool. Because otherwise it's like, oh, I got this, I got this 3B 2306 1800 kV motor. I need another one. I have no clue who sells it. I mean, I guess you could just Google it, but. Yeah, it's a great site run by an awesome dude. Here's the other cool thing that you can do on FPV Exchange is you can price shop. If you're about to order this motor and you search FPV Exchange for it, it'll show you every single website that sells this motor. And it'll also show you all the individuals that are selling this motor. So you can price shop, but also, you know, Facebook Marketplace don't work like that, right? Like, you can't get served on the same page as RDQ on Facebook Marketplace. So, yeah, get over to FPV Exchange, man. Nevin is a super cool dude. He built an awesome site, and there's just, yeah, once there's a ton of people on there trading stuff, it's gonna become even cooler. So, go check it out. I think you guys are gonna like it. Yeah, Rick, thanks, dude. This is super cool. Look at this, guys. Rick sent me 2 of these. Big old logo on the back. Love it. Very cool of you, man. I can't believe that one of you guys printed a shirt with my logo on it before I bought one from Teespring, but I'll get one from Teespring at some point. Every time I think about going on there and buying one, I'm like, no, I have plenty of shirts. I gotta spend the money on other things. Mike Duran is here. What's up, Frederico? Now let's have fun on your stream. Do not call me Frederico. There it is. Thanks, Mike. Hey, if you guys didn't see it, Mike had me on GemFan's Instagram page yesterday at last night for the unveil of the V2 LED prop. And they're bright as hell, and they look super cool, and I can't wait to get my hands on some. Yeah, they've got a little bind button for the switch on them now, so when you loosen the prop nut, it pops up and the bind button lets go and the prop turns off. So you just turn them off and on by cranking the prop nut down the last like quarter turn. And yeah, I mean, you can't tell me that you don't want LED props. Like, and if you do, check your pulse, because you might be dead. The whole, I mean, it lights up one blade, but then as soon as it starts spinning, the whole propeller area is red or green or blue or white. And I'm going to be getting some white ones and boiling them in purple RIT dye, because purple LEDs aren't very bright, unfortunately. Although what I'll probably actually do, most of my rigs have purple LEDs already, purple arm LEDs, and then I usually put one in the back. So I'll probably just get the red moonlight props, and then I'll have my purple or red thing going on, and that'll make me feel better, because I'm a weirdo. Michael Blade saying, hey, Adrian Rudge saying, signed up to join your Patreon today, but the site was lagging when paying, so I canceled it. The payment has gone through, but not a member. I'll join again next month. Adrian, tag me again here in the chat and tell me which tier you paid for, and I'll just put you on the wheel. It's all good. That's how we do it around here. And I need to put Vern Kelk. Oh, wait, no, I took care of that last week. I put Vern on the wheel twice, not last week, 2 weeks ago. So I'm good to go. I think. Vern, if you're in here, check me on that. Maniac FPV says, I got that moon goat all built up. Thanks again, dude. You are certainly welcome, Maniac. Maniac won a moon goat frame on 4 weeks ago, and it sounds like it's all built, and that's super awesome. Abraham says, are those links good even if you delete cookies at the end of browsing? I don't think so, Aber. I assume that would wipe it out. Can you use more than one person's affiliate link at a time? Definitely not. The last person's affiliate link that you hit wins. Maniac says, also, thanks for the nut grabber pin. You're certainly welcome, brother. Jackalope FPV says, which tier lets me attend your BattleBot premiere? The only BattleBots premiere is the edit, the 10 minutes of me laughing like a complete lunatic on my channel. So if all the BattleBots info that you guys are gonna get ever is in that one 10-minute video, so go check it out. Put headphones on, because I think I curse a bunch. I definitely scream in laughter a bunch, which people in your house will be very confused about. What was that? Ghosts, man. Punk Generator saying, hey, Obese Quad says, I went down to the Tiny Whoop tier from the $10 tier. Joey Coppola is my real name. Sounds good, Obese. Mike Bamiller says, I'm late. Has the BattleBot show started? It has not. It's coming up, though. Athix says, hey. Cement Kid says, I'm about to build a custom Pusher 95X V3 with the SMO cam. If you have any suggestions for me, I'm all ears, my friend. I don't, Cement Kid. I haven't built mine yet. Beta FPV sent it, and yeah, but there will be a build. There will be that exact build coming soon. Nick Sebring says, T-Motor 1404, 3800 or 4600 for that 2.5-inch tadpole. Nick Sebring, as I've been talking about a lot lately, don't worry about KV anymore. Always just buy the highest KV possible. Betaflight 4.2 and newer has motor scaling that works beautiful. I've been running for over 6 months 2 identical glide rigs, one with 1850 kV motors on 6S, one on 2400 kV motors on 6S. The 2400 kV motors are scaled down to 60%, and I cannot tell a difference between the 2 rigs, other than the fact that the rig that's on the 2400s, if I'm out flying with people that fly 4S, if I need to borrow one of their batteries, I can. And the 1850 kV rig, technically I can, but it flies like a bag of smashed assholes 4S on 1850, right? So, yeah, always buy the highest KV possible now that we have motor scaling, and there are a lot of benefits to it. When I was flying, when Joshua came down here to Atlanta around Christmas time, we were flying a big spot with big spaces, and I had a moment where I was like, man, I wish I had a little bit more power. And then I remembered that I was flying that rig, so I landed real quick. I jumped into the OSD, boop, 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 turned the throttle scaling up, or the motor scaling up by 5%, took back off, and now I had a little bit extra power. That was like, and in that moment, it was kind of like, oh. Like, that was a pretty cool moment, and yeah. Drone Pilot says, hey buddy, how are you? How is everyone? Drone Pilot made a very cool little video that I linked over on the Patreon page that I put into Tech Talk, as well as the collective. So all of you patrons going over there, it's a really cool video. It shows you how he deals with the humongous motor wires on his Drone Pilot builds like 7, 8, 9, 10-inch rigs typically. And they have huge motor wires, and the pads on our ESCs are not like that big, so it's really cool to see how he kind of deals with that. And then he also shows you guys how to conformal coat. Really well done little video. Thanks a million for doing that, Drone Pilot. Yeah, go check it out, guys. If you just want access to all the awesome stuff on Patreon, because I've spent a ton of time writing articles about filter tuning and PID tuning and all kinds of good stuff, it's $3 a month, and that's 10 cents a day. You can do it. I have faith in you. I know you can do it. And you're gonna love it. I'm gonna say I can pretty much guarantee you that I'm gonna save you more than $3 a month, because like when I find good stuff on clearance, I'll post it up there. When you read about how terrible 1407, 1408, 1507 motors perform, you won't waste $100 buying a set, right? Stuff like that. Yeah, pretty confident you'll save yourself more than $3 a month. License to Drive says, how well do Hex Standoffs cope with TPU prints for cameras that were designed to go on round standoffs? Awesome question, License to Drive. I actually like it better. It's more of a pain in the ass to get the TPU onto it, but once the TPU goes on it, it doesn't move all around. Like certain TPU camera loops on the regular round knurled standoffs, they'll move around, and that sucks. So yeah, that's one of the things I really like about these Hex standoffs, is that they're a little bit bigger. Maniac says, I need a CiottiFPV Speedo. Oh god, Speedo. I read that as speedometer. I was like, what? Banana Hammock, Kristen says. YouTube did the thing, scrolling back up. Oh my god, YouTube, I'm gonna light your fucking face on fire. I've no... I can't find where I was. I really don't want to... I really want to continue to read all of the comments that you guys leave where you tag me. But YouTube makes it really difficult for me to do that. And I don't know what the solution is. Huff19 says, what's up from SoCal? Remy Tim with a $4.99 super chat. He says, for therapy. Thank you, Remy Tim. I am back in talk therapy. I'm very happy to be back in it. The only way I've been able to do that is because you guys keep supporting me more and more. The Patreon is bigger than it's ever been. The affiliate links are bigger than there ever been. So thanks, guys. It really means a lot. I have some pretty serious mental illness shit going on that I really struggle with, and talk therapy is the thing that helps me the most. I have a really hard time with medication because my stomach is kind of a dick. But talk therapy really works well for me. Over on Facebook and on CiottiFPV.com, at the very bottom, there is a link to FPV Therapy. It is a Facebook group that I started a little over a year ago. Lots of awesome, super courageous people in there sharing their stories. Just kind of, we're just being there for each other, and trying to get better. 1 in 5 people struggle with mental illness, so it's a real thing. If you know more than 5 people in the world, you know somebody that deals with it, and they probably are not talking about it because that's one of the most evil things that it does. So, yeah, even if you don't struggle with it, maybe just come over, learn a little bit of something, and the next time that one friend that's canceled on you a few times in a row cancels on you, maybe you'll be able to have a conversation of them like, hey, how you feeling? And believe me, you'll be their absolute hero if you're willing to actually talk about their mental illness with them. Marcos Savitas says only US, right? Not really, Marcos. I mean, basically the way it works is if you join my Patreon and you're on the other side of the world, I split the shipping with you. The shipping costs are anywhere from $3 to $5 here in the US, and then usually overseas the shipping costs are like between $13 and $15. So yeah, I just split it with you. Everybody has been kind of cool with that. If for some reason somebody's not cool with that, I'll just cover the shipping, whatever. Drone Pilot says the T-shirt has "I don't give a fuck," which is an acronym for. Oh, okay. I thought there was like another. Like what's the panda? Like what's the? Yeah, I like the panda. Guillermo says, "Let's kill the clam man." Never.
諦めんなよ。諦めんなお前。どうしてそこでやめるんだそこで。もう少し頑張ってみろよ。ダメ目諦めたら周りのことを思うよ。応援してる人たちのことを思ってみろって。あともうちょっとのところなんだから。俺だってこのマイナス10度のところしじみが取れるって頑張ってんだよ。絶対やってみろ。必ず目標達成できる。だからこそネバギブアップ。
There he is. Hopefully I don't get sent to jail for doing that. Drone Pilot says, thanks for roasting my video on Patreon. Thank you for making the video. Fly High Wisconsin says, hello. Rick Zapata says, that is Skadoosh's logo. I figured that would know. I figured you would know what the acronym meant. I wanted to do it in purple, but would have had to be vinyl, and I didn't like it. Gotcha. Very cool, Rick. I just totally spaced on that. Chronic Lab says, question, I worked out Project Mockingbird tune for Betaflight 4.1.0 for the Tiny Hawk 2 getting 4 minutes on a 450 MAH-1S, but the wall grabs have gone up. Relive for it. Chronic Labs, I'm not sure what a wall grab is. And I'm also not sure what relive for it means. So if there was a question in there that I missed, just tag me again. Do me a favor though, it's probably going to be like a half an hour before I read it again, so write the whole question again. I'm not going to remember what I just read by the time I get to your next comment. That's just kind of how it goes around here. Because of the fact that I try to read everybody's comments, I get behind very quickly. For example, I'm still reading comments from 10 minutes ago. And it's about to get worse because we're going to do the giveaways in a minute. Ben Warner says, just joined your $30 tier. Damn, Ben, thank you for the support, my man. The $30 tier I forgot to call out. If you guys have 5-inch rigs, if you have 3-inch rigs, if you have tiny whoops, and you really want to support me like Ben, the $30 tier enters you into all the giveaways. So you get entered into 6 giveaways a month. And you support the hell out of me. Like for real. Those of you that are on the $30 tier and up, yeah, you guys are absolute rock stars, and everybody is a part of helping me, but you guys are just way too kind, and I'm very, very lucky to have you. So every single one of you guys that even just hangs out here, like from the bottom of my heart, thank you. We're doing something really cool here, and I'm the goofball that points the camera at himself, but you guys are here with me. Richard says, someone randomly mentioned Ciotti Robot at the end of Joshua Bardwell's stream. Of course they did, Richard, because you guys are just as nuts as I am. Freelojo says, I got a 5-prong nut grabber using your link. Good going, Freelojo. Hey, yeah, if you guys don't have a nut grabber yet, I mean, just so that you can say that you own a nut grabber is kind of enough of a reason, but it's actually an incredibly useful tool. It just, you push the little plunger, and the little grabber bastards come out, and then you can just go and pick up your little nuts. And then when you need to put an annoying ass M2 nut on, you know what I mean? You don't have to fumble with your big fat man fingers. And yeah, and there's a link to the nut grabber down below. It's an Amazon affiliate link down below in the description, as well as a bunch of other really cool tools. Go look around. You'll love them. You're gonna love my nuts. Fairly Functional saying, hey, Black Moses saying no downside with motor scaling. There is technically supposed to be a downside if you motor scale below 75 or so percent. But if I can't feel it, and I've been flying a long time, I don't care. And there's also no difference in runtime between those two rigs. So, like, I don't really care about theoretical stuff like that when I test it. And, you know what I mean? There's also supposed to be no problem with running notchy motors. Motors that when you turn them by hand are very coggy. That's not supposed to make a difference, but it makes a huge difference. And notchy motors are a complete disaster, and they're untunable and they're horrible. So yeah, real world testing, theoretical nonsense. Great question, Black Moses. B-Man says, you motor scale your 2400 kV to 60%. That's 1440 kV. Isn't that a wee bit low? I run 80% scale on 2400 for 1940 kV roughly. It's not 60%. It's 70 something percent on those 2400s. I was thinking about the I have another rig that's on 60%. It's a micro. Good catch, B-Man. Thank you. Chris Croft says, is one motor scale or is different PID per PID profile? Great question, Chris. The motor scaling is tied to the PID profile. The reason that they did that is right next to the motor scaling value is a cell count value. So on that, on my 2400 kV glide, I've got PID profile 1 with 6 cell and either 70 or 75% motor scaling. And then on my PID profile 2, I have it set to 4 cell, 100% throttle, so that when I plug a 4S battery in, it automatically goes to PID profile 2. When I plug a 6S battery in, it automatically goes into PID profile 1. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, as the kids say. No kids say that. Only old boomer idiots say that. License... Oh, you motherfucker, YouTube! Scrolling back up. YouTube did the thing. Scrolling. Cement Kid says, off to bed, wanted to say hello. Thanks for saying hi. You're probably not here anymore. Sleep well, Cement Kid. License to Drive says, with Joshua talking about the quad backpacks, here's one from Mobula 6. Do me a favor, License to Drive, resend me that after the giveaways. I'm trying to get caught up on the chat before the giveaways, because when I'm not caught up on the chat when we do the giveaways, it's a pain in the ass. Haschenberg says, best 20x20 6S ESC. It depends, Haschenberg. If it's a micro that you're building, I really like the Talon F7 V2 MPU 6000. If it is the if you're building a 5-inch rig, I like the Acon V1.1 F7. Acon has two 20x20 F7 flight controllers. One of them is specifically meant for DJI stuff, so it has an extra 5-volt back and an extra plug header on it. So if you're doing a DJI build, there you go, get that one. If you're not, get the other one. It's cheaper, and it has one less BEC on it, and yeah. They're both sold on Pyrodrone almost exclusively. I've not been able to find the non-DJI Acon F7 2020 anywhere else, unfortunately. It's actually, it's the reason why I haven't been able to build the... I've got 3 glides that I'm going to build to sell on FPV Exchange, and I can't do anything because those Acon 2020s have been sold out, and yeah, I'm not going to build it with another flight controller unless I absolutely have to, because reasons. Because it's better, and flight controllers are cheap, so why wouldn't you put the best one in there? Mark saying, Mark Torgensen just joined the Patreon. Thank you, Mark. Very cool of you. Abraham says, if there, hey, guys, do me a favor, stop tagging me for a minute so I can get caught up, and then we'll do the giveaways. How about that? Abraham, if there are others like me that aren't on Facebook, and some others are also on Discord. Yeah, thank you, Aber, for the reminder. Over on Discord, which the link to the Discord is on CiottiFPV.com, or you can join Patreon, and as a patron, you automatically get special privileges on Discord. Yeah, there's an FPV therapy channel over there. Feel free to use that as well if you guys aren't Facebookers. Matthew Vega says, thanks again for the follow leader game. So fun. Yeah. Thanks for joining, Matthew. Hey, yesterday's live stream, Sim Sunday, was a blast. You guys should check it out. We did lead follow practice in Velocidrone, and having like 7 quads with all different color light trails coming off of them, and then me acting as the cameraman kind of flying around them, was way cooler than I could ever imagine. And yeah, we're gonna be doing that on Sundays. That was super fun. Maybe what I would kind of like to do is have like a little bomb squad of the most experienced and talented pilots. I would love for us to, those of us, you know, maybe like 6 or 7 or 8, I would love for us to get a little bit of practice doing that outside of Sim Sundays, and maybe we can like get together and do like little exhibitions or something like that on Sundays. So you know who you are if your pilot level is, you know, up there. Shoot me a message somewhere, and we'll get a little group of us together, and I think that would be even more fun. Yeah, let's do that. And then what I want to do a better job of on the Sim Sunday thing with the lead follow is cycle people in and out. We filled up the Velocidrone room pretty quick. So I think what we'll do in the future is set like, I don't know, set maybe like a 15-minute time limit, and then everybody gets kicked out, and then fresh people come in, so that as many people as possible can join in on this silly thing that we're doing. It's really, it's just super fun though. It's super fun. Richard says, does it matter what size capacitor I install on a flight controller? Example, 6S recommends capacitor but flying on 4S. Supposedly, anything north of like 470 UF is wasteful. I put thousands in everything because they fit, and extra capacitance doesn't hurt anything, and they don't really weigh anything. So there's like kind of no my approach is put the biggest capacitor you can fit in the build. Like it's all about like fitting the damn thing, which in some builds is a real pain in the ass. But yeah, with capacitors, like if I can put one in a build, I always put it in, because it can only possibly help. It might do nothing, like it might not help, but who cares? There's like, it's like a 1 gram weight penalty. So just do it, and then maybe it'll help, maybe it won't, but maybe it will. How am I this far behind still? Oh wait, no, we're not bad. Chibi says, I heard there's a bit of efficiency loss running throttle limits. You didn't feel any difference. Yep, didn't feel any difference, and I don't see any difference in runtime. I'm sure there is an efficiency loss, but if it's not an efficiency loss that I can see in the real world, I don't care about it, right? Maniac says you should make a t-shirt that says YouTube did the thing. It's yep, we're thinking about it, Maniac. Drone Pilot says the best, looking at the results for noise by a guy who extensively tests them out on YouTube. Is the best ESC 20x20 is the T-Motor 55 amp. Yes, 55 amp. I've heard that T-Motor makes really good. Well, I mean, T-Motor doesn't make them, but whoever's making them for T-Motor, I think it's Acon, is doing a really good job. Tiago says, I have a crazy theory that motor scaling is working better than expected, probably because they don't change the wire as they should when they change the KV. T-Motor is, though, which is interesting. You'll notice on T-Motor 18 F40 Pro 4 1850s, it's a whole different color, the winding. So I know for a fact that T-Motor is now using the different thickness windings in their different KVs, which is really good. Mike Miller says motor scaling is for people to go. Motor scaling for the people go to Drain Man's video. Is that like a how-to video, Mike? It's pretty easy. It's just in the PID tab, and it's in the OSD. It's in miscellaneous PP in the OSD. It's not in the profile section where the PIDs are. You got to go back one screen. Like basically when you go into your OSD, that first screen, usually you go to the top profile option. It's not in there. It's the second option down. Son of Flat Top says, I just built your ultimate freestyle whoop and the plug for the camera rubs on one of the ducts on the cockroach frame. What was your solution to that? Last Wednesday, my solution was to break that that plug header off because I assumed that there were pads underneath it, and there weren't. So you'll notice that my descriptions no longer have that ultimate freestyle build in it. I'm sorry, dude. I made an assumption. I thought it was a pretty fair assumption because the choice to force people to use a plug header is absolutely insane. You got to put it back into the Mobula frame. I will say this though, at the time that I was really recommending the cockroach frame, it was because the only way to mount an Insta360 Go was by using the little hooks on the bottom of the cockroach frame, but we don't have to do that anymore. There's a much better mounting solution for the Insta360 Go, and it's these bunny ear looking things up here that are for sale on Newbie Drone's website. So with the Goober canopy, yeah, just go back to the Mobula 6 frame. Sorry, I cost you $3. I'll PayPal you if it's if you want me to. But yeah, it sucks, dude. I can't. I've been having a really tough time with Whoop AIOs, and I'm very frustrated because if somebody doesn't make a half decent one soon, I'm gonna burn all their buildings to the goddamn ground. Drone Pilot says that lead follow with all the guys keeping in line, climbing those buildings and dropping looked amazing. Yeah, it was pretty cool, Drone Pilot. From yesterday's live stream. Don Ladd says I'll have to get Velocidrone. Right, EEDoc prefers combat. We'll get back to combat. I feel like we did a lot of the Velocidrone combat. Ooh, I'm almost at the bottom. Wooden Prop says, just bumped up to the $30 tier. You are worth it and more. Thank you for the knowledge and the entertainment. Thank you, Wooden Props, for being a part of, yeah, this whole awesome thing. Drone Pilot says, regarding capacitors, 470 UF is fine. Get higher voltage than the supply. If you draw 80 amps total, then 1000 UF is best. Most of your gear doesn't even get close. Awesome. So Drone Pilot kind of backing up what I've heard from people that know electricity much better than me. Tiago says, was the Minecraft torch already on the wall? It was not, and there's actually 2 of them. I'm going to regret doing this. But there's the other one. I don't bother turning it on because it's, yeah, it's over there. I put those up like, I don't know, during the week, last week. Richard says, Drain Man FPV did a video to calculate the math for scaling motor down KV to run 6S and 4S motors. Gotcha, Richard. The math is pretty simple. It's just from 4S to 6S, it's either 150% or it's 75%. So just drop, put the KV into the calculator and multiply it by either 1.5 or multiply it by 0.75. And that's all you need to know. Brandon is here. He's baking some beans. He thinks that the new Crazy Bee X and DSX models have the camera plug inset on the board slightly to help with the plug wires rubbing. That's great, but they are still fucking up by putting the bind button where one of the motor plugs needs to be, and they pushed the motor plug in, and by doing that, the Happy model boards continue to not be compatible with any of the frames other than their own. And they should be beaten with a hose for this shit. Go-Kart Mozart says, did you try getting a 1S board from FPV Cycle? I got the notification of restock, but it sold out immediately. I didn't, Go-Kart. I'm not... I kind of burned the toothpick thing out in like 2017. My very first rig was basically a toothpick, and I spent like my first year and a half of flying refining that and just getting it to the point where, yeah, it was a toothpick. And I got very tired of breaking motors all the time because the bi-blade, when you crash inverted, the bi-blade prop just spins out of the way and the motor bell hits the concrete. I also got tired of like basically waiting to come down. Like it's the weight is so low and the prop size is so big that like when it just doesn't come out of the sky. I just always feel myself like, all right, I'll get down to the ground eventually where there's cool stuff to fly around. And I also got burned out of like just the lack of mass, right? You can't like do any momentum moves. You got to sort of just drive it around like a tiny whoop or like an RC car. So yeah, I'm not the toothpick thing is not for me, but that 1S board is really, really good from what I've heard. Son of Flaptop says, I'm going to try to get the Mob Light board into a cockroach trim. I think that might work. Very cool. Let us know. And then Gayton Clinton says, what do we need to do to enter the giveaway? Gayton, the giveaway is run from my Patreon page. We're about to do it, so you got to really hurry. The $5 a month tier you can get to the Patreon page by going to CiottiFPV.com. The $5 a month tier is for Tiny Whoop and toothpick stuff. The $10 a month tier is for 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewhoop stuff. The $20 a month tier is for 5-inch parts. If you hurry and if you tag me again and tell me which tier you just entered, I will manually put you on the wheel. Let's do the goddamn giveaways. What do you guys say? I need a little thing for the giveaways. I don't have a thing for the giveaways. Oh wait, no. I gotta do the wheels and stuff. All right. Here's something else that we do. Over on the Discord channel, there is some stuff. Let me let the Discord load up here. Hey, let me also, while that's going, let me fire up my email. And I did want to give a couple of shout outs to some awesome people. Max Beamer, thanks for joining the Patreon. Rick Zapata, thanks for sending me the awesome shirts. Ferdinand, FFH, thanks for joining the Patreon. Dwayne Huffner, thanks for joining the Patreon. Matthew Vega, thanks for PayPaling me $10 for the formation flying practice. He did a super chat, but via PayPal, so that YouTube didn't take 30% of it. Adrian Rudge, thanks for joining the Patreon. And then it's all you awesome people from tonight. Okay, cool. Now that this Discord is opened here on the Discord channel, there is a text channel called The Video Collective. It takes me a minute to put everybody on the wheels. So what we do while I'm waiting is I play a couple of your guys' videos, but you got to post your videos in here for me to play them. Remy Tim did that, so his video is going to get played. Let's see who else. I've got to kill the volume on these so I don't get copyright nonsense. Looks like Chomper, his video is getting played. Just getting this all going here. And then usually it takes me about 3. Perfect. B-Man is going to be the third. I know that I should go from oldest to newest, but I'm in a hurry. Forgive me. I'm going to pull Maniac up just in case we need a 4th. And that's not true. We're going to play Maniac's video no matter what. All right, so enjoy these awesome people's videos, and I'll be back in a minute with the wheels, and then I will check. Wait. No, let me do something real quick here. Why is that all over there? Mark Torgensen, Who was it that I specifically told? All right. So if you guys have joined the Patreon page tonight, but it's been like less than 5 minutes, do me a favor and tag me in the chat right now and tell me which tier you're on, because you're the people that I'm going to need to add manually. Those of you that joined the Patreon more than 5 minutes ago, don't post in the chat, because then I'm going to end up putting you on here twice. So, yeah. And then the person that was having the billing problems with Patreon, do me a favor, tag me again. Starting now in the chat is the only manual stuff. Make sense, guys? Okay. So, this goes here, that goes there. We're actually going to watch Maniac first. Let me get Epidemic Sounds up so that we can have some music. And there's hopefully a not too terrible song for you guys. Alright, I'll be back in a minute with the wheels all set. Enjoy some Patreon flying. Epidemic Sounds, yo, what a fucking jam this is. All right, we should be good to go here. Nukem, I had to manually add you, but you're good to go now. Adrian Rudge, I checked you. You're good to go. Quad Mods, I manually put you on the Whoop Stuff tier. So I'm assuming that we're good to go. I gave you guys a chance. If we mess it up, just get in touch with me and I'll add you twice on the next the following week's wheel. I've got stuff everywhere on these two monitors, so hang on 1 second, boys and girls. Let's just get this moved over here, this moved over here. There's OBS again. And let's kill that. Let's come over here and kill this. And right. Got it. Here we go. Tiny Whoop and Toothpick Tier. Let's kill Epidemic Sounds here. If you don't know, Epidemic Sounds is $15 a month, and man, do they have some good copyright-free stuff. $5 a month tier is courtesy of T-Bird. Hey, if you guys don't know, go look up. Hey, T-Bird, if you're in here, drop some links to your stuff. T-Bird donated a ton of really good stuff to these giveaways. So the least that we can do is go support him wherever we can. So T-Bird, drop some links. Moderators, if you haven't seen T-Bird in here, do me a favor, see if you can dig up like his Instagram, maybe his YouTube channel for me, and drop them. Cadix Baby Rattel 2. Meteor 75 Beta FPV frame. Gem fan. 4-blade, the propellers that are for this frame, a 2S PH 2.0 connector, and huge shout out to Gem Fan, my prop sponsor. Pretty much all of the really good Tiny Whoop and 2-inch Cinewhoop propellers in here. Sort of just one of each, and like 2035s and 2036s, whole bunch of awesome Tiny Whoop and Tiny Whoop props. Bill McCoy says, Bill McCoy, $10 tier. Let me make sure you're in here, Bill. You are not. I'm gonna add you. Now you are. Vicious Stitches, thanks for the reminder. And then there's Bill. Okay, good. All set. Here we go. And oh yeah, here's your proof of entry. You guys can rewind the stream, so I'm going to do this quickly. If you want to check, there you go. You can check. But I just hit a button and oh wait, no, it's the $10 tier. Well, you $10 tier people, you can check that. Here's the Tiny Whoop and Toothpick tier. Again, I'm going fast because you guys can rewind, but I just hit a button on Patreon and they just spit out a CSV that I then copy and paste and just drop in here. So you all should be in here. If you're not in here, there's really nothing I can do. You got to get in touch with Patreon. I don't have any control over their website. Tiny Whoop and Toothpick tier. Here we go. Let's see who is going to win tonight. Is it going to be Alan or is it Jedi? Is it Alan or Jedi? It's Alan Cheagle. Alan, I will send you a message over on Patreon bugging you for your first name, last name, and address unless you beat me to it. And then I'll send you some stuff, man. Congratulations. Where the hell is the pen? Here it is. I'm going to write your name down. And you will be good to go. So that's, guys, that's kind of the other reason why I really need to run these giveaways through Patreon, is so that I can actually get in touch with you guys. Just running these with YouTube names is a complete nightmare because YouTube makes it very difficult to get in touch with people that don't have like active channels with like current videos that you can comment on. So sort of out of necessity, but it also allows me to pay for the giveaway stuff. It's not all of the giveaway stuff is donated. I buy a lot of this stuff with the money from Patreon. Congrats, Alan. Next up, we're going 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewhoop. We've got, again, shout out to GemFan, a pack of pretty much all the Cinewhoop props, as well as a set of these 2512s, which are not Cinewhoop props, but basically all the really interesting 3-inch and 2.5-inch props. The ducted 63mm 3 blades, the 63mm 4 blades, the 76mm 5 blades, all the good ones. And then we've also got a CiottiFPV, thanks again T-Bird, Ratel 2. We've got a UFL left-hand polarized, awesome to have in your bag. Guys, if you don't have, most of you probably fly right-hand circular polarized, right? Make sure that you have a set of left-hand circular polarized stuff in your bag. It's not going to cost you much, and like Rampage, for example, the people that were on left-hand polarized had awesome video, all Rampage, and the rest of us idiots on right-hand had kind of crap video at times. Last but not least, a set of slightly loved RC and Power 1506. I don't even know what the KV is, 4300, 4200. These are for a race rig. Do not try to get HD footage with these motors. You've been warned. Build a race rig with these, and it'll go 100 miles an hour, and it'll be durable because these actually have 3mm motor shafts. Very, very, very rare. This is arguably the best racing 3-inch motor in the world. Baby Ratel needs to go over here, right? Because this is the regular Caddx Ratel. You guys already got your proof of entry, which means that I can just go here and ready the goat. It's gonna be Daniel Maurer. I can feel it. I can feel it in my fingers. I can feel it in my toes. Daniel Maurer, congratulations. You're building a Cinewhoop and a 3-inch racing rig. Hopefully you wanted to build both of those things. Congratulations, buddy. Daniel is a longtime supporter, an awesome human being, and well deserving of the win. Let's write his name down. And, oops, that's an N, not an R. Congrats, brother! Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Next up is the 5-inch tier. Courtesy of Frank Nicholas. Look at this. This is cool because you can turn this into a chest. You just take the. I mean, you could wear it on your head, but the way that I use this thing is I take the top loop off and then take the side strappy thing and pull it all, like make it as wide as it'll go, and it's a little tight, but it totally works. And then you can have a stick cam. This is your stick cam thing if you have a spare GoPro. And then GemFan sent me over some of their 3D props. So and you can turn 3D mode on in Betaflight like really easily, and then you can. I think that the trick to 3D mode is to put it on a switch. Put it on your momentary switch, because trying to relearn the throttle is just silly. So put. I'm sure there's a video on YouTube how to put the 3D mode on the switch on your momentary, so that you go inverted, you drop the throttle down, you pull your momentary switch, and then you raise the throttle back up, and you've got reverse thrust. So yeah, try 3D out. The big thing in here is, again from T-Bird, the TBS Unify Evo. This is as good as it gets for analog video. So TBS Evo with the awesome barcodes to change your settings. We've got a set of Luma skids. These are super cool. FPV Crate makes these. There's also an affiliate link to FPV Crate. Hey, if you guys have Radio Master radios, go to FPV Crate. They have, like, I think they're, like, the official reseller or something. I don't think they actually are, but, like, they stock all the Radio Master stuff. They have, like leather hand grips, and, like, it's crazy. Go to FPV Crate. Use my affiliate link if you want. It's at CiottiFPV.com. And, yeah, they have lots of really cool stuff. They have, like, a full-blown store. These are skids for the arm ends that you can get little LEDs and slot a little LED into this guy, and it lights up the whole thing. Very cool little idea. I love that. So we got a set of those. We've got a set of floppy proppies and an SMA Axie 2 antenna. Going hard on the giveaways tonight, man. This is how much I love you guys. All right, we got these, we got that, we got this, we got this. And let's see who gonna win. That button, this button, this button. And here's your proof of entry. I went a little bit fast on that one. That's my friend Chris. There you guys go. Let's see who be winning. Let me hold on. That looks a little short. Hold on. Let me just make sure that I didn't miss anything. Alphabetically, John Pearson should be the last one, right? Okay, cool. And then I added Kyle in, and then here's the other tier. So it's from Rory to Daniel Lopez. Let me just make sure. Rory, Daniel Lopez, and then Adrian, and there's Adrian. Okay, cool. This button, that button, this button, go! Who's gonna win a whole bunch of awesome stuff? It's gonna be Mark Kunoff. Congratulations, Mark! I'm gonna bug you over on, I think I already have your address, but I'm gonna bug you over on Patreon for your address and send you some stuff. Now we're gonna do the giveaway that's open to everybody, that is Super Chat or PayPal based. Okay. God damn. Come. There we go. KU. Oh man, I went right through the hole. That's what she said. KUNOFF. It's official. You've won some stuff, Mark. Congrats, my man. All right. Check this out. For those of you that want to get a head start, because there is a bunch of stuff, the way that this next one is going to work is you can either go to CiottiFPV.com, scroll down, there's a PayPal button. You can PayPal me the amount of money that I'm about to tell you to get into this giveaway. Or you can do a super chat. If you do a super chat, YouTube's going to take 30%. YouTube gives me the spot to do these streams, so I'm okay with that. But if you're not okay with that, you can do PayPal. It's gonna be $6, and you can enter twice. So if you super chat or PayPal me $6, you're gonna go on the wheel once. If you PayPal me 12 or super chat me 12, you're gonna go on the wheel twice. That's it. If you send 18, I'm only gonna put you on the wheel twice, but I'm gonna give you a shout out. So there you go. Some more cool stuff. I'm not going to call each individual thing out, but some of this stuff is also from T-Bird as well. A large size FPV Crate shirt. I don't know what side is up. We've got this wacky 3-bolt, 2-inch propeller, tiny whoop frame. I want one of you guys to do... whoever wins this, if you're going to do a build with this frame, put 1102s on it. And I think that that this is going to be a really interesting little frame to build. Shout out to Newbie Drone for sending over some cool stuff. This is a couple of their awesome battery straps and some fake cockroaches and a bunch of their stickers. Camera Butter, Session 4/5. ND8 ND filter. We've got a Digidapter for all of you DJI freaks that want to run analog on the front of your DJI so that you don't have to, I mean, let's be honest, so that you can fly tiny whoops. Or just micros. Although micros are starting to come around. They're still heavy when you put DJI in them. Vifly short stopper. Thank you, Frank Nicholas, for sending this over. This is the only short stopper that really works. So if you're going to use a smoke stopper, rather, this is the one. It's made by Vifly. This is what you want. This will actually save your stuff from catching on fire. And then, I don't know what this is. It says Model XJT. Here, I'm just going to show you guys what this is. And then somebody's going to win it. And, like, it kind of doesn't matter what it is. But, you know, this is going to be... You're going to get this. It's an XJT module, EDoc says. Yeah, I know that, but I don't know anything else about it. And most importantly, a set of CiottiFPV skateboard grip tape transmitter grips of your choice in whatever color you want. But if I find out that you didn't get this amazing CiottiFPV super special purple and red color, I'm not gonna be mad. I'm just gonna be disappointed. He's got a whole bunch of different colors, so yeah, just don't tell me if you get one of the other colors, because you know you don't want to hurt my feelings, do you? You're not a jerk, are you? You're allowed to be a jerk. It's all good. Okay, so you got about the next 2 or so minutes to do the PayPal or the super chat thing. I'll put you guys on the wheel. We'll spin the wheel, and then we will move on and answer some more questions. And I'm going to take the prop guards off of this. We've got some cool. Well, here, I'll hit you with it. I'm going to do some 2.5-inch propeller motor testing, and I'm gonna see if I can find a motor that's better than these RCX 1304s that I've been running for literally 3 years on 2.5 propellers, because they're just amazing. So yeah, I'm just gonna pull these prop guards off, and then I'm actually gonna fly this rig. And I'm going to compare. So I've got the RCX 1304s, which I'm pretty sure are going to be the ones that I stick with, because they're just, like, amazing. But I've also got these AMAX 1303s, and then I've got these Pyrodrone Hyperlight 1404.5s and 1303.5s. And yeah. So, like, in future giveaways, you guys are gonna see probably these, unless I pick one of them. You know, like, one of the cool things about doing the testing is that, yeah, I test stuff that is, like, good, but maybe not like the absolute best, and then the stuff that's not the absolute best is really good for the giveaways, because, yeah, they're still really good. I don't buy, like, garbage to test, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I buy stuff that I'm at a point with most of my rigs where, like, I'm looking for that last 1 or 2%, and yeah, that's hard to find, and it takes a lot of testing to find that, but that's what I'm here for. That's why you guys come here, man. Okay, so Wheel of Names. This is in my way. I need to get my email up. There is my email. And there is the first. Yeah, 11:16. Okay, cool. John Ray says, this is a super chat, kind of. Okay, let me rip through the super chats here first. We've got Maniac. He says, I love you. Put this towards the healthcare fund. Thank you, Maniac. Just to confirm, Maniac, you don't want to go on the wheel? You're just supporting me? Very cool of you. But if you want to go on the wheel, that's cool too. B-Man says, set him up, player. B-Man's going on the wheel twice because he sent over $12 via a super chat. Thank you, B-Man. Very kind of you. Then we've got Son of Flat Top. He says, put me on the wheel, and thanks for the great content. $25. Son of Flat Top. Thank you, man. I'm going to take that other $13, and I promise I won't spend it on hookers and blow. Gator FPV is going on the wheel 2 times. Thank you for the support, my friend. Blizzard FPV with 2 Californian dollars. Blizzard, if you send 4 more Californian dollars, I'll put you on the wheel, or I will take those 2 Canadian dollars and spend them on cocaine. Bill McCoy with a $10 super chat. I'm gonna put is Bill McCoy? Is it Bill McCoy's 10 plus Blizzard's 2 to go on the wheel twice? Is that what's going on here? I'm gonna put you on the wheel once, Bill, and then you guys let me know if Bill needs to go on the wheel a second time. Oh, there's another $2 for Bill. So Bill's going on there twice. Let me go over. You guys don't need to look at me for the whole stream. Maniac FPV is going on the wheel. Thank you for the support, Maniac and Bill and Gator and all of you awesome people. Geo Fairbanks says round and round we go. He goes on wheel twice. Thank you, Geo. 1 and 2. And Blizzard says look up higher. How did I miss it? How am I missing these things? Okay, got it. Blizzard goes on the wheel. Thank you for the reminder. Tristan Stoneman, do me a favor. That's a good question. Copy it, paste it, and then send it again when we're done with the giveaways. Yep. And Ruby Tim says he's been waiting to build a Cinewoop. I'm glad I could cost you a bunch of money. Okay, Metal Dark Skin calling out PayPal. Awesome. I'm going to go over to PayPal in a minute. Nukem with PayPal. Awesome. Rumi Tim, PayPal. Awesome. Alexander says hookers and blow are more expensive these days. I wouldn't know. Blizzard says look up higher. Cool. Caught up on chat. You can still do the super chat thing. I'm going to bounce over to PayPal and then I'll bounce back to super chat and then we will spin the wheel. So we've got John Ray going on the wheel once. Thank you for the PayPal, John. And then I've got a little bit of Kyle Newcomb with $12. He goes on the wheel twice. He hopes that he wins. So do I. Although I technically hope that all you guys win. So, you know. And then Daniel Maurer with a $6 PayPal. He's going on the wheel. Last call for PayPal and or Super Chats to get on this wheel for that group of stuff. Huff19 is going on the wheel. I think I've already got Geo Fairbanks on there. I do. Huff, thank you for the support, my friend. We are about to spin the wheel and see what happens. Tristan Stoneman coming in. Wait, no. Yes, Tristan Stoneman coming in at the last second. He goes on the wheel. And 2 times. Because he sent 14 Californian Canadian dollars. No, I'm not dumb. Yes, it's an inside joke. Scarecrow FPV with a $4.99 super chat. He says, fine. Well, that means he's going to win. What's up, JR? How the hell are you on this cold, cold, cold day? How is Scarecrow not a moderator? He is. It's just not showing up in blue for whatever reason. It's $6, but it doesn't matter. You're you, JR. It's all good. Your extra dollar is you've already given me the extra dollar in your sparkling personality and your wonderful friendship. I wish that it was on the full screen for that because it would have been a lot more meaningful. Ready? Here we go. Goat ready, and somebody's gonna win all the stuff. Scarecrow sends another $2 because he doesn't think his friendship is worth the $1. Damn. B-Man, congratulations! You have won a whole bunch of stuff. B-Man, you got some work to do. You are going to email or Instagram message or Facebook message, tweet FPV. If you want to email him, it's tweetfpv@gmail.com. All of you guys, if you're not familiar with TweetFPV, check out his YouTube channel, check out his Etsy store. He's a great guy doing great stuff. Go show the man some love. He deserves it. You're only going to be helping yourself. B-Man, congrats. You got some work to do. Shoot that email or message to tweet. Do the same for me. We need your first name, your last name, your address, your email address if you'd like tracking. And if you're outside the U.S., we need your phone number. And hit me somewhere. Anywhere. CiottiFPV, Facebook, Instagram, fucking smoke signals, whatever works. And yeah, give me your info. I'm going to write your name down on here. Hey, I also need you to say, hey, it's B-Man, because I need to be able to search my messages for B-Man and be able to find it. I want to yell at all the people who haven't gotten back to me with their addresses yet, but I'll save that for next week. Excuse me. So I'm just gonna write on here, I'm not gonna write anything because this Sharpie is a dick. B-Man FP Vizzle. Is that something that the cool people say? All right, congratulations to all the winners. To everybody that didn't win, sucks to be you. Where else can you go to where you can support somebody that just like tells you that he's gonna hunt you down and burn your house down and hit you with chairs? Thanks for hanging out, everybody. You guys are awesome. Let's get to business. Who's got some questions? Hit me with the Q&A things in the place. I'm gonna start mindlessly removing these prop guards. This is a frame that you can't get anymore. I'm sorry about that, but it's a 2.5-inch frame. These are the Trans-Tech Beetle 2.5-inch prop guards, and they're pretty flat. Like I think these will clear most 2.5-inch frames. And this is a really interesting little platform. So it's got this little loop in the front here to hold an Insta360 Go. Technically, I could even build this with like a RunCam hybrid on board for 4K 30 frames a second. And then you can take these so set up like this. This is a perfectly flat, like valid Cinewhoop, like really lightweight Cinewhoop. You could even put a naked GoPro off the front of this if you could get a mount going. And then you just pop these guards off, and it's a really decent freestyle rig. These guards are okay. I've given these guards some abuse. I mean, they're not. Gep RC has prop guards that are a lot stronger, but they're not for 2.5-inch props. They make them for 2-inch and for 3-inch props. So yeah, it's, I don't know. The Cinewhoop thing is cool, but like this will do everything that'll do and then some, because this will like shred freestyle. Technically speaking, you can just take the ducts off of some Cinewhoops and it'll just look dumb because it'll have the extra pieces of carbon outside of the motors. But I mean, you could technically still fly it freestyle. But yeah, think about that. Think about the fact that there are 2-inch, 2.5-inch, and 3-inch prop guards. And with those sizes of propellers, a prop guard is totally fine. Like, they really don't generate enough power to be to really need a huge duct. The purpose behind a Cinewhoop is more to go slowly. Like that's what the big Cinewhoop ducts are really going to do. I know yes, they give you more protection, but again, until the all-up weight, like if it's one of these Cinewhoops that's like 500-600 plus grams, like, all right, yeah, those motors are going to start having to make an awful lot of power. But don't like build a Cinesplorer. Cinesplorers are like 400 and something grams, and there's really no reason to be any heavier than that. Vicious Stitches says, "What's your current go-to 16 by 16 stack?" I hate 16 by 16 stuff. It's just a nightmare to work on, and it just doesn't seem very reliable. The only 16 by 16 that I would trust is the Talon, which is sold over on Heli Nation. Yeah, but I would, if possible, I would stay the hell away from 16 by 16. It's just not. It really hasn't been like tested and R&D yet, so it's just kind of all over the place. Alexander says your Minecraft torch should be made into a drone. I'm not the like, I don't know. I like engineering on this stuff to try to get it from like flying good to flying great. But like taking random objects and getting them to fly, I'm like, yeah, I'll leave that to flight tests. They'll do a way better job than I will. Send that recommendation to flight test. That would be super cool. Obese Quad says, my Acrobat keeps killing ESCs on 6S. ESC as I use for 5-inch. Is 3S just too finicky to run 6S reliably? It shouldn't be, but the 6S on an Acrobat, there's no benefit. 6S on micros, like, period, there's no benefit whatsoever. And there are a lot of problems. So my main recommendation would be just to get the hell off 6S. If you're gonna stay with 6S, the only possible reason, the only way that you've been able to kill a hobby wing 20 by 20 meant for 5-inch rigs is if you've got motors on there that are notchy / coggy, and then that's going to make the tune go ballistic and it's going to just oscillate. That's the only possible way that a 3-inch rig is going to generate enough current, whatever the hell the right word is there, to blow up a 5-inch ESC. So that's my guess, Obese Quads. Yeah, what motors are on there? I'm gonna. Nah, there's too many. I can almost say. I bet you have this motor or this motor or this motor. Oh, they died from crashing. That's weird. I mean, a 3-inch rig in a crash is a lot less stressful on gear than a 5-inch rig, just because they can't go nearly as fast. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one, because everybody says that hobby wing ESCs are God's gift to ESCs, but I have had horrible luck with hobby wing ESCs. And when an ESC dies in a crash, I mean, it could be a back spike, but it's not. So, yeah. My suggestion would be to get away from hobby wing ESCs and go over to Acon. Acon is the only company in 4 years that's made an ESC that's been able to withstand the abuse that I throw at these rigs. So, yeah, that, I don't know if I would say that that's my hunch, but that's weird, dude. I mean, is there any chance that, like, that you're mounting the ESC in a way that something is hitting it? Because, yeah, that's weird. Especially an ESC that's meant for a 5-inch rig, because those are usually a little bit more durable, right? That's strange. That's strange that that's happening. Do you have a capacitor on it? I wonder if maybe it being on 6S, possibly if you don't have a capacitor, it's But see, the motors are so small. I can't see it happening. I'm gonna just say F Hobbywing. Yeah, I mean, I've had like 5 or 6 Hobbywing ESCs blow up. Like 2 of their first gen, 2 of their second gen, at least 1 of the current generation. They just don't hold up. They blow up in crashes every time. Every single one has blown up in a crash. And the Acon ESCs, I think I blew up 1 Acon ESC, but it was an almost 30-story drop to cement. And nothing else survived in that build. Literally nothing. Well, that's not true. It broke unarm, but the rest of the frame was fine. But well, yeah, and I guess the VTX held up. But it killed the session. It killed the FPV camera. It killed the flight controller. It killed the ESC. I think that's it. But yeah, you drop a 600 gram weight, 30 stories to concrete, and like, if anything survives, then that's pretty impressive, right? All right, I'm getting behind a little bit. License to Drive says my Mobula 6 backpack. Thank you for copying and repasting that. That's the silliest thing I've ever seen. I'm just gonna leave that up on the screen. Vicious Stitches says, so you use 20 by 20 in your whoops? No, I use AIOs in the whoops. You can't. I mean, that's the only thing you can use in the whoops is the AIOs. Quad Mods FPV says, what's a good all-round canopy for 65 to 75? I've got piles of frames. Quad Mods, my current favorite and the only canopy that I'm running on the Tiny Whoops is the Newbie Drone Goober canopy, because it allows you to use this wonderful Insta360 Go holder. Let me give you a little bit of a better look at that. Yeah, I love these Goober canopies. Some people don't like these Goober canopies because they're a little bit too strong, and I know that kind of sounds crazy, but the canopy is stronger than the frame, so what can happen is on a hard enough crash, it'll break the rear post. But these frames are $3, so I don't know. I don't really consider that to be a very big deal. And yeah, being able to carry the Insta360 Go on top of a Tiny Whoop is really cool, dude, because you can get like fully stabilized, really good looking 1080p footage. If you want an example of it, there's a GMG performance edit here on my channel, a finished edit, that I flew with this around a shop, and you will not a race car shop, and I think if you haven't seen it, you'll be pretty shocked at the quality that you can get out of an Insta360 Go. Obese Quad says they died from crashing. All right, I'm getting caught up here. Sick of Life says, good to see you back. Thanks, brother. It's good to be back. Orga A says, oh, fuck. Maybe the ESC had COVID. Can I help you? What do you want? He knows I'm going to grab him and shake him. That was my cat, Harry Potter. Coming in begging for food because it's approaching midnight. Sick of Life 90 says, also, you were right, those 1106 6500s from Arthur, they suck balls. Death rolls now, 2 motors getting random twitches now, so 3 to 4 motors are bad. Wow. If you guys didn't know, Arthur is just DYS. DYS closed, and then all of a sudden Arthur popped up. So yeah, Arthur is DYS. DYS, they didn't make great stuff, but usually their stuff wasn't bad. although some of it was. So yeah, it sounds like we need to stay away from Arthur. Let's all learn a lesson from Sick of Life 90. And yeah, it's certainly not sound. I mean, like one motor, I'm kind of like, well, yeah, it could be just. Wait, hold on. There we go. That's better. One motor, I can sort of forgive, but two, especially because now we're talking about 2 out of 4. Now we're talking about a 50% failure rate, and that's insane. So yeah, next time you're buying motors, if you're looking at Arthur motors, second guess yourself. Sick of Life, thanks for being the guinea pig. Sorry that you had to be the guinea pig. Somebody's got to be the guinea pig. Usually it's me. Welcome to my world, my friend. Free Range Chicken RC says, just used your affiliate link to order a new rear case to replace the one that busted a week ago after installing the folding handle on my TX16X. Ordering from there was a lot better than from China. Awesome. Thank you for that, Free Range. If you guys want to use my affiliate links, just go to CiottiFPV.com. There's nothing to stop you from hitting all the affiliate link buttons right now and just dropping my name into your shopping carts, and then you don't have to remember. Maybe. I don't know if that's how it works. That's the button. Dauntless says, Goober, funny. I know. It's a great name. Tuner Taxi says, I'm here now. What did I miss? Nothing much. Drone Pilot says, try 1.4 kilograms weight at 100 miles an hour into solid objects. I don't care what it's made of or how thick it is. Nothing survives. I know this from personal experience. Nothing is unbreakable. Yeah, truer words have yet to be spoken. Not smoken, spoken. Son of Flat Top says, what's the smallest gauge silicone insulated wires that you've been able to source? I've never gone down that rabbit hole. 30 gauge, I have tons of 30 gauge from the million micro components that I've bought. So yeah, I just use 30 gauge. There's people in the chat that know electricity much better than me, though, so they can maybe help you out. Son of Flat Top. Collective. Son of Flat Top wants to know the smallest gauge silicone. Help him out. Sick of Life 90 says, Pyrodrone replaced 1. I'm not even going to ask for 2 more. Yeah. Yeah, Sick of Life. Just move on. It's, yeah. It sucks. FPV Trucker says, I need to replace the split V2 on my Acrobrat V1. Suggestions. My favorite Acrobrat V1 HD camera is the Tarsier. The Caddx Tarsier fits really well in there, and yeah, it's a good one. Technically, you can put a Runcam hybrid in there, but it doesn't quite fit as good. So I would recommend the Tarsier. KVFPV just upgraded his QZ7 to QX7 to a Tango 2. What do you think of the Bradio? I'm not a fan of any of these small radios. I have big-ass gangly fingers, so the QX7 fits my hands better than any other radio. So for me, it's QX7 or nothing, basically. But for people whose hands are not freaks, I've heard that the Tango 2 is great, so you're probably going to love the Tango 2 KVFPV. Dauntless says, have you heard anything about the T-Motor 1104 7500s? I assume they'd be good, but wanted to check if you've heard anything particularly bad. I haven't heard a single thing, Dauntless, although what I do know about those 1104s is that they're the same thing as the Drib motors. The Drib 1104 7500s were made by T-Motor. The T-Motor version of the 1104 is better than the Drib motor because it uses four screws for the mounting base rather than 2. So yeah, here's my question though, Dauntless. What are you putting those? Like, in my opinion, 1104s don't really have a great home. Like, I don't really have maybe like a 2-inch prop, but I actually think that a 1203 would be a better bet for a 2-inch prop. So yeah, what are you putting those on, Dauntless? What prop size? What all-up weight? These are the types of questions. Let me keep the roof over my head for a second. These are the types of questions that I ask you guys that hire me on Fiverr. This is build planning. build planning is not just, I like this motor, you should get this motor. Build planning is, how are you going to use the rig? What's the all-up weight going to be? What are you going to do with it? HD, standard definition, what kind of runtime do you want? Where are you going to fly it? Where are you going to crash? What's your experience level? Yeah, that's what I'm up to on Fiverr with the build planning services. Sick of Life 90 says, you have my address. You're welcome to send me a set of motors for a 3-inch. You're too lazy to test. You never know, Sick of Life. Dauntless says, typically I'm not really financially in a place where, well, once I have health insurance, then I can maybe send you guys some free stuff. How about that? Dauntless FPV says, oh wait, no, we got that. Holy shit, am I caught up on the chat? Before midnight? Wait a second. Phenomenon Awesome says, what do you use to hang quads on your wall? Nails, literally. Just buy a box of shitty little brad nails and bang them into the wall at a 45-degree angle, and then you just put the nail right in here, right in the little motor hole. It just hangs on the wall. If I slam these two doors really hard, I think they would all fall off. So I don't slam those doors really hard. Alexander says, are you? I'm going to go with no, just in case. Dauntless says, I'm using them on a 2-inch. Okay, cool. More of a freestyle situation. 3S, 450 kV, I think he meant MAH, and probably around 120 grams, but not sure. I have 4 1104s, but I broke one. I can't find a replacement for them. Yeah, okay, 2-inch. I like 1104s and 1105s on a 2-inch. I actually haven't had a chance to test 1203s on 2-inch props. It's just a hunch that I sort of have, but I have a lot of old content with 1104s and 1105s on 2-inch props here on the channel. If you guys want to look at what I was up to 4 years ago, there you go. Sick of Life 90 correctly stating that the Miata is the best car for autocross ever made. Rant engaged. Indeed, it is. If you guys want to go totally down the rabbit hole, I've actually had my YouTube channel up for 12 years. I've only really been pushing it for the last year or so, but if you want to, if you're into cars basically, and you scroll down a little bit on my channel, there is almost as much motorsport and car-related content on here as there is FPV stuff. And for anybody that doesn't know what autocross is, because I mention it a lot, here's what autocross is. Make sure that it's muted. I think. I'm going to just assume that I have copyright music on here. Here is a run where you can get some outside of the oh my god, my fat face is in the way. Well, here you go. There you go. That's autocross. It is really the only affordable form of motorsport. I don't really consider drag racing to be motorsport. It's just drag racing, in my opinion. For motorsport to me means that you have to. There's a need for a little bit more driver skill, namely turning the steering wheel. So yeah, if you're into cars and you want to and you don't have $1 million, look up autocross. I guarantee you there's a local chapter run by SCCA, which is Sports Car Club of America, and yeah, just go. Don't not go because your car is not built. I as an instructor, one of the worst things that could possibly happen is when a new person would come that decided that they weren't going to go autocrossing yet and that they were going to build their car first. Because when you build your car without any baseline and without any knowledge of what the hell you're doing, you build a car that's awful. And so now you have a platform that's terrible to drive and you don't know what the hell you're doing. And for me to try to then coach you is really difficult. So if you're interested in having fun in cars, go autocross. Take your minivan, take a pickup truck. Pickup trucks most regions won't allow. We allowed them because we struggled for members. But yeah, exactly where your car is right now, take it, go. It's not going to hurt your car. We never had any mechanical issues. We did have one of the instructors, I'm not going to talk about that because it was a weird situation. There was mud and it was after the event and we were being idiots. But yeah, it's super safe. There are instructors there that will help you out, and there are awesome people, and you will have a blast. And yeah, it's super, super, super fun. Redbeard the Pilot with a $14.99 super chat. Thanks, brother. Congratulations on the last year of focusing on YouTube. If you ever make it back up to our nation's capital, I owe you, Brewski. Sounds good, man. I would love to get back up there once the virus is all gone. Although I don't think it'll ever be all gone. I have a feeling that we're going to have yearly vaccinations for this shit for the rest of our lives. But it's better than not being able to leave the house. Dauntless FPV says, switching just 2 at a time right now. What were we talking about, Dauntless? I feel like that should make sense. Oh, the 1104s. Okay, cool. Switching just 2 at a time. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, it's a cool idea. Put the rear motors always have to work harder than the fronts, so put the more powerful motors on the back, and then the PID loop will just work it all out, and it won't make a difference anyway. Nukem says, been thinking of finding a way to mount an Immortal T vertical for better coverage. What are your ideas on it, and mounting ideas on a glide? So Nukem, all of the long range guys. Hi. You want to come closer so I can pick you up for the stream? Want to come closer? Oh, what a treat! The world's most expensive cat. Live on stream. What's up, buddy? Did you come to beg me for food because your pancreas is a piece of crap? Hello. Hello. You realize you've bankrupted us, right? We will never be financially whole again because of you. But you're worth it, man. You're our little kid. We don't need no human children. We've got an expensive, fuzzy thing that's not grateful at all. Look how good he looks, though. Look, isn't he a handsome little devil? How could you not save that little guy's life? What is money, really? You know? Money doesn't mean shit. Living things are all that matters. Alright, buddy, I'll leave you alone. Thanks for being on the stream, dude. People on the internet like cats. Maybe I'll be famous now. Nukem. The long range guys will typically take the Immortal T and zip it to the outside of their HD camera holder, and that way, when you're nose down, it is perfectly vertical. If you just like run it vertical in the back, it's really good, you know, when you're hovering. But then as soon as you put the nose down, it's damn near the same as having it like this. So if you're going to mount it vertically, I feel like it only really makes sense to put it at a 30 degree. And yeah, that's the most popular way that I've seen to do it. You just zip tie it right to the side of that guy. All that being said, don't as a freestyle rig, it's a nightmare because the Immortal T gets hung up in the propellers all the time when you land. Like it hangs down below here, so when you land, it's all janky, and then if you crash inverted, it's bad. You'll go through a lot of Immortal T's, but if you're doing long range stuff, you're not going to be crashing. So yeah, do it. All that being said, a regular horizontal Immortal T has some pretty serious range. If you're not getting... Yeah, I guess you're doing long range stuff. If you need more range than you can get from it, I've been really far and have had tons of RSSI and link quality. CiottiFPV says also got those FPV cycle motors for my Cinerat, and man, it flies better now, especially using SMO 4K instead of GoPro. I'm at like 5 to 7 minutes flight time in 5 Celsius weather. God, that's cold. Yeah, the Bob is really doing a great job with motors. Pretty much all the motors on FPV cycle, as long as you put them on the right all-up weight rig with the right size propeller, are going to be really, really good. Sick of Life 90 says, I meant to say C6 Corvette, now rant engaged. I think Sick of Life knows that C5 and C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, and I think even C7 Corvettes are some of the, in my opinion, the worst cars to drive on track and autocross. As an instructor, we would, our region, we would both drive the car and then take people for a ride so that we would give new people an extra run, an extra opportunity to see the course. Plus, with someone else driving the car, you can actually focus on what the hell's going on to some extent. Some people would get so scared that they would just be panicked the whole time. But it really helps out a lot to be in the passenger seat of your own car and to have somebody that knows what they're doing drive it. And Corvettes are pretty popular. So I've driven 30, 40, 50 different builds of Vets, and they're very fast and they're very competitive, but in my opinion, they're just not fun to drive. They don't really communicate anything at the limit of traction, and then they've got tons of mechanical grip, so when they do let go, you're going really fast, and yeah, I'm just not a fan at all. Great street cars. They are the absolute amazing drag cars, and in terms of like value for money, there's nothing that can touch them. But I just don't like turning the steering wheel in them, basically, which is what I like to do in cars. Obese Quads, my apologies to everyone that loves Corvettes that I've just offended, but if you drive 100 different cars on an autocross or track day course, I think you'll come to the same conclusion that I have, because every instructor I've ever talked to has kind of said the same thing. Vipers too. You'll notice track day instructors not gravitating towards Corvettes or Vipers for a number of different reasons. One of the biggest reasons is that the drivers of those cars that show up to track days tend to have humongous egos and tiny little amounts of driving ability. And in cars like those, that can lead to dead instructors. Track day instruction was not something I really tried to do. Autocross instructing, big thumbs up because nobody dies, but track day instruction is sketchy. Obese Quads has been wanting to autocross his Focus ST. Just go, Obese. Just go. I swear to God, dude, just go. They'll have helmets that you can borrow. You'll pay like $40, and you will improve as a driver more in like 1 day of autocrossing than you will in like 10 days of just driving on public roads. Just go, dude. Just go. Just find your local region. The next event, pre-register. Please pre-register. As someone who ran, I was the co-chair of South Jersey region for a couple years, and pre-registration is a really good thing because it's really early in the morning and nobody wants to have to fill out all your goddamn info when you could have just done that on the website. But yeah, dude, just go. I'm telling you, just do it. Redbeard the Pilot. I think we got that. Yeah, got that. Thanks again, Redbeard the Pilot. Vicious Stitches says they have ZMAX in Georgia. I think ZMAX is in South Carolina. Oh yeah, or was that in Charlotte, Concord, North? It's in one of the Carolinas. ZMAX is an interesting site. The surface is very prone to sand and dust and shit. I never the surface is very understeery. I always had a really hard time. I actually only went to ZMAX. That was ZMAX that I was just playing. I think I only went there twice. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Black Lake. Sorry. ZMAX is fine. What I didn't like about ZMAX is that too many goddamn people come to those events. Black Lake is Michelin's tire testing. It's like a 20-acre patch of perfectly black asphalt that they use for. They designed it to hold edge to edge at like a 1/4 inch of water across the whole goddamn thing, perfectly. So it's like, it's almost like a mirage when you're there because it's just completely flat and there's no cracks in it. But it gets really dusty and it's just like, I always had I would not be able to get enough front end grip through like any method, any of the tuning methods that I had, the front sway bar, the rear sway bar, the shock damping. It almost requires a spring change, which I was never willing to do. And yeah, and that's and what's funny is my Miata was very loose. It's a very loose setup. It's got a CAS 1.5 way differential, which the typical problem with the car was oversteer, and then at Black Lake it was just an understeering fat pig. So yeah, I would never go to those. I never went to those Black Lake events again. Dauntless, back to FPV. Dauntless says, awesome, looking forward to RC Empower 1202.5's arrive because his 2.5-inch toothpick is ready to rumble. That's going to be cool, Dauntless. FPV Trucker says, what VDX to go with? Tarsier HD system. I currently have Mini Holy Bro VTX that maxes out at 100 milliwatt. FPV Trucker, I've had really good luck with the eSheen Nano, but also there is the Immersion RC Tramp Nano, which is really good, and I would actually say stay away from the TBS Pro 32. I've had one of those fail, and I haven't had any of the eSheen Nanos fail, and it's just kind of expensive. It's the TBS Pro 32 is just sort of needlessly expensive. I've had better luck with the eSheen Nanos that are like, the eSheen Nanos are like $12. The TBS Pro 32 is like $30. It's, and I mean it's a micro. So yeah, eSheen Nano, man, it's I feel weird. I just keep expecting an eSheen Nano to fail, but they just don't. And the video is great, and the V2 it even has a little microphone built in. It's amazing. So yeah, eSheen Nano. B-Man FPV says, saw the win, had to step away from my computer for a bit. It's awesome. Hit you up on Discord because that's all I got. All right, sounds good, B-Man. Rick Spada is out of here. Thanks for hanging, brother. Carlos Batros with a $4.99 super chat. Thanks, dude. I am out 13 6S China Hobby Line 1300 120C batteries so far and only 2 arms. Oh, okay, you've flown. I thought you were saying that you're like you lost them or something. Only 2 arms. You're telling me you've broken 2 arms in 13 batteries? Carolus knows how to fly. He's pushing himself. All right. You get the fucking thumbs up for me for sure, man. Richard says, I knew a guy that had to leave his truck with someone while he was gone for a week. I went to the local dragster randomly, and there was his truck drag racing on the stock touch full size. It's funny. That's a funny, man. I would, that would be like, when I was into motorsport, that like, if that would be like a funny joke, like me and my car friends would play on each other. Like if we had to borrow each other's car, like we would go do that, and then we would like take video of it or take pictures of it and like put it on the internet and see. That's fun. Tuner Taxi FPV with a $5 super chat says money for the cat. Thanks, Tuner Taxi. RG13 is in the house. Did you trade your race car for a cat pancreas? I mean, it didn't work out like that, but kind of. I sold the Mustang when we moved from Charleston to Atlanta. The car had sat for so long that it was just beyond saving, and I just kind of realized that I was never going to make enough money to have the Miata and then to fix the Grand. It was a '96 Mustang Cobra convertible that I initially built for autocross, but it's a much better track day car. And the grand plan back when I was making 70, 80, 90 a year was to build the Cobra into a track day car and to have the Miata as the autocross car. But yeah, cars are incredibly expensive. Motorsport is incredibly expensive, and yeah, I would rather have a job that I enjoy making less money and not funnel money into cars. The car hobby, in my life experience so far, in order to maintain like a motorsport and car hobby, I have to work at jobs that stress me out to the point of destruction, which is a problem with my mental illness. If I didn't have depression and anxiety, maybe I could pull that off without being miserable, but I've tried, and it just doesn't work like that. And that's totally fine. There are other hobbies like FPV that are infinitely cheaper and give me like 95% of the adrenaline dump that I would get in motorsports. So yeah, it's interesting because like on one hand I kind of miss it, but on the other hand it's kind of just like it was how I basically spent my 20s, and that's cool. It's cool that I got to have that experience in my 20s. I did a shitload of track time. I did a ton of driving in anger, and I got really good at it, and I got to a point as a driver where I kind of plateaued, and after 10-ish years, and and in motorsport, when you plateau like that as a driver, it becomes a lot more expensive. Drag racing, that happens almost immediately. If you go if you go drag race like 2 or 3 times, your driving will be at a point where it's almost as good as it's going to get, and then it just becomes a game of who spent the most money. Motorsport is not like that, because you have to turn the steering wheel, and that makes it way more difficult and way more fun, in my opinion. And you get a lot more life out of it, and you can drive around $4,000 or $5,000 Miata and just keep getting faster and faster and faster and faster and having more and more and more and more fun. But there does come a time, and for me, it was when I started winning Driver of the Year trophies in South Jersey and like just destroying my class year after year after year. Yeah, it gets to the point where you just got to spend a bunch of money, and stuff for cars is thousands of dollars, not $50 or $100 or 60. You know what I mean? So yeah, motorsports is an amazing hobby, but whew, it's you got to make a lot of money. You got to make a lot of money to do it. in the way that I wanted to do it. There's all, I mean, there's all kinds of shortcuts, and you can certainly do it on more of a budget, but compared to, I mean, it'll never compare to FPV. Never. Even doing like the absolute cheapest versions of motorsports, it will still be like 5 or 6 times more expensive than FPV. And yeah, I flying's flying. Like, when I fly these things, I'm in like a full 3-dimensional world, and when you drive a car, you're in a 2-dimensional world. The extra dimension in cars comes from shit like chassis tuning and all this dialing in that you do, but I do an awful lot of dialing in with these things, so that's almost the 4th dimension of FPV. Back to FPV, speaking of. Nukem says, good idea on the vertical motor T-binding. Thanks, you're certainly welcome. Nukem720 also says, freestyle vertical antenna no. Dauntless says, what's the shirt today? FPV Exchange, and this is Kadush's logo. And then it's my logo on the back. Which was sent over by... I remember his first name, but I don't want to get his last name wrong. Come on. Mail. Come on. Thank you. Mail. I can't find it, and it's after 12 o'clock, so I'm gonna use that as my excuse. Nukem720 says, I force 150 hertz during freestyle, so the vertical is an idea for better coverage, but any spots I would have trouble, I would let it switch dynamically. Got it, Nukem. Okay. Freelojo says, clocking off at work and heading home. Have a great evening. It is after midnight, isn't it? Alexander FPV says, what card do you have the most fun with under 40k Miata? Absolutely no questions. Although 40, well, no, because you said fun. You said fun, and that's it. Miata, period. Yeah, and with a 40k budget, you can build the most fun. Like, you can take the Miata, which is the most fun car, full stop, and turn it into the most fun car. A Miata with like 5 to 10 grand in parts. Oh, I mean, with a 40k budget, you could probably spend like 20. You could get like an ND, the current generation Miata, like a used ND, and then you could put like 15, 20 grand probably into it, and you could have something that will embarrass everything and just be next level. There are certainly other cars that are plenty fun, but the Miata has the biggest aftermarket. It is an incredible platform. It's just the best. There's a reason why there are more Mazda Miatas in motorsports than like all other cars combined. Like, it's not just for fun. Like, people choose that car to turn the steering wheel with for a very specific reason. And the other thing that's cool is the people that own Miatas, other than the stance numbskulls, the people that own Miatas, A, they don't have an ego because they're driving a hairdresser car, so they're really cool people, and B, they're people that know their shit because they bought a Miata. Like, you don't just go out and buy a Miata to be cool. You buy a Miata because you want a fun car, right? Like, so the crowd around that car is unlike any other car crowd I have ever seen. So yeah, it's more than just a car. Like, do yourselves a favor, guys. If you have any interest in cars, buy a Miata at some point in your life. Buy a used one for $5 grand, and it'll change your outlook on what a car is and what being alive is. KVFPV says, track day with a Saturn Ion 5-speed, full set on 2.4. We had we had a guy in my region who was super into Saturns, and yeah, that's all he ran, and they're great. They're nice and light. Yeah, they're totally competent autocross cars. Sick of Life 90 says right now our two fastest waited time cars are a Miata and a C8. Nice. Is the C8 the new one, or is C9 the new one? Yeah, Corvettes are usually very fast, but I just don't like driving them. They're just not fun. Like, driving them is just not fun to me. People that like to win, if that's their version of fun, sure, it's a great pick for that. But in terms of like driving enjoyment and the process, to me, driving enjoyment is like the feeling that you get at the limit of traction where the car starts to dance and it starts to just kind of rotate a little bit and just move around, and you start driving up with your fingertips, and yeah, that's my definition of driving fun. Remy Tim says Corvette drivers have huge egos and tiny little ... amount of driving ability. Definitely thought something else was going to be tiny little. Nah, I'm not gonna, because I'm sure there's people in here who own Corvettes, and that's, I don't think that about people that drive Corvettes either, because there's plenty of people who like drag race or like drift, or even some autocross drivers that just want a V8 rear-wheel drive cheap platform, and like vet done, like for sure vet. But a lot of those people would then drive my Miata, and lo and behold, the following season they wouldn't have a Corvette anymore. It's just a very different experience. Like, just look at the companies, right? GM, like, one of the biggest internal mantras, whatever you want to call it, of GM is make it cheaper. Not like make it less expensive or make it better, like make it cheaper. Like, that is a big part of GM's ethos. So that's going to go into every car they make. Mazda's ethos is make the car, it's basically, it's Jinbai Tai, which is horse and driver, which the interpretation for us cheeseburgers is basically make a car that has as much like involvement and feel and like connection as riding a horse. And riding a horse is like as nuts as it gets, right? That's even crazier than like riding a motorcycle. It's totally like tactile, and like there's a ton of subtlety, and yeah, it's about like the driving experience, and it shows in every single Mazda car. Mazdas never have the most horsepower, they never have the biggest tires or the most grip, but they are always the most fun to drive across the board. You look at their SUVs, you look at their sedans, you look at their sports cars, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're buying, if you're ever like, oh, I don't want to buy a 4-door whatever, which one's going to be the most fun to drive? Yeah, Mazda, done. Go out, don't even bother test driving them, or go test drive them. Yeah, you turn the steering wheel in a Mazda, and it's like, oh. But unfortunately, sometimes they put engines in their cars that are so awful that Toxic FB says, I got a tramp in the middle today. What the hell is the little chip that it came with? It's for this silly wand thing that they used to have. Well, they still have it to change the channels. Just put it in a box and forget it exists. Zorko's 262 with a $6 super chat. He says, here you go, boss. Good stream. Thank you, Zorko. Much appreciated. RC Ritter says, how's the BattleBot design going? Not well. I haven't started it yet. Richard says he took the air filter out so he could get better flow into the intake. Scrub a half a second. So, I wouldn't do that. It's funny that somebody did that, but I wouldn't do that. RG13 says, I'm very familiar with the pain of motorsports. Autocross, rallycross, track days, burn the bank, but I still agree that everyone should try autocross. See? It's not just me, guys. RC Ritter says, bought an M3 thinking about doing track days. One look at those finances. I could do a year of FPV for the cost of one track day. RC Ritter, M cars, unless you're wealthy, M cars are not a good choice for track days. It's just too expensive. It's just way too expensive of a platform. Go get a $5,000 Miata, dude, and just pound the hell out of it at track days. You will have just as much fun, if not more. Remy Tim says, "Did you say Rick Cepeda sent the shirt?" I don't remember. I think it was Rick Cepeda. Thank you for that. Oh my god. Yeah, it was Rick. Thanks, Rick. He already left the chat. RC Ritter says, which gen year Miata is your favorite? The current. The NDs are... The current generation Miata is... It's the best car ever made. I kind of want to say it is arguably the best car ever made, but fuck that. It's the best car ever made. I have a second gen Miata, and there are things about the second gen Miata that I like. There's a couple things that I like over the current generation, which is called the ND. Miatas, there's 4 generations right now: NA, NB, NC, ND. It's just their internal whatever. The first generation is the ones with the pop-ups that you guys probably all know a Miata to be. The second generation is what I've got that you saw in that video a minute ago. The third generation is the big kind of bubbly one that nobody likes, and the fourth generation is the current one with the round taillights and then the really angular front. And yeah, this current generation of Miata is ridiculous. It has almost all of the excitement of the first and second generations, but it's got a much more current, much more stiff chassis, just the right amount of technology, and fuel economy, crazy fuel economy. You can get like 40 plus miles to the gallon on the highway on the damn thing. It's got an appropriate amount of power, and it's also comfortable too. Like it like the first and second gen were some of the best cars ever made, but this fourth gen, like, it's for like a commuter car. Like if you don't have to carry if you just drive to work and carry like a briefcase or like whatever, that's it. If you want your life to be better and you don't need a bunch of space in your car to go to work, current generation Miata. Period. Like no questions asked. They're just, god damn, they're so good. I know this sounds nuts, but it's literally a dream car for me. Experimental RC says, how can I get to your affiliate link? CiottiFPV.com. Experimental. Thank you, brother. Dalton says, have you ever had an all-wheel drive car? I'm raised in a four-wheel drive Subaru household until recently when my dad bought BMW 9000. The insurance money from his total WRX, not his fault. I've never owned one, but I've driven acres of them. I've only ever driven one or two that weren't understeery, frustrating pigs, though. That's my biggest issue with all-wheel drive cars, is having the things required to drive the front wheels tends to make them nose heavy, and just by driving the front wheels inherently, they just understeer. You can't Evo 9s, you can do enough work to get enough front axle grip to really make them fun, but as soon as you pick up the throttle, no matter what, it's just not the same. For like a lower traction setting, like rallycross or ice racing or stuff like that, yeah, they're great for that. But for tarmac, they're similar to the Corvette in that, like, if you want to win or like go really fast, they're a great choice. But if you're in it for the pure driving experience, which if you get into motorsports for a while, that's where you tend to gravitate towards. It's just I've yet to drive an all-wheel drive car that really will dance anything like a rear-wheel drive car, or even like a front-wheel drive car. Kristen's Mazda 2 with Motons and Pixie Dust Toyo R1R 195s. It's unbelievable. It is really staggering how it behaves at the limit of traction when it's up on its toes. It's really amazing. Two-wheel drive for life, yo. YouTube did the thing. Scrolling back up, we're gonna wrap this thing up here, so I'm gonna blast through the rest of these comments. Great stream, guys. Thanks for hanging. Again, check out yesterday's stream. We did some cool stuff in Velocidrone. Go to like 3/4 of the way through yesterday's stream, and we were doing some really neat stuff, some lead follow stuff that turned out really cool. Mr. E FPV with a $50 super chat. Mr. E, holy shit, thank you. He says, okay, gonna burn up some time. I already have an Armaton Gecko 3-inch with shark bite. Well, that's cool. What else do I put on this build? There's just so much available these days. What do I do for flight controller, motors, PDB, ESC? Just looking for some outside info. Cheers. Thanks again, Mr. EFPV. Down below in the description, I have a little section called the gear that I use and trust. And let me actually take a quick look to make sure I have the right stuff in there for you before I say, hey, yeah, it's all down there. Whatever, I'll go here, and then it should be down there. All right, so here we go. Flight controller, do I have it? Yes. Okay, the second flight controller down below is the Talon F7 MPU 6000. Get that. That's my favorite for micros. In the next section in ESCs, there it is. There's the Speedix IS35 20x20. Get that. That's my favorite. I gotta update my motor section. Write this down. Brother Hobby 1504 and a half, and then just get whatever the highest KV is. I think it's like 3500. It might be 4000 KV. Just always get the highest KV because Betaflight has motor scaling. So just from now on, just get the highest KV. Don't need a PDB because you're going to be on an all-in-one ESC. If you scroll down a little bit farther in there, in the prop section, GemFan 3028s. Those are the best 3-inch propellers we have at the moment. Hopefully, I can work with GemFan to change that in the future. Camera is kind of a personal thing. Look up reviews on YouTube on cameras and figure out which one you think looks the best. They're all really good. You can, at this point, you can kind of just and be good to go. The cameras are all really good. VTX is a section down there, and it looks like I've got the Eachine Nano in there. I've also got the Pro 32. I gotta update this. I haven't updated this in a while. Most of this is still pretty dead on the money, though. Receiver is kind of on you. Crossfire Nano, maybe, or RXSR, maybe, whatever radio you're on. Antennas. Go with True RC Singularity. It's a little red guy that looks like this, and well, it has a UFL on it, but the head of the antenna is red like this. That's what you want. True RC Singularity, and you're gonna want to get a UFL, and that's how you build a quad, right? Camera, ESC, flight controller, receiver, VTX, antenna, motors, props, batteries. 4S 550s made by GNB. Do I have a battery section? I do. In the battery section, GNB 4S 450s. They're gonna work. They're gonna give you the best performance. But you can also, GNB also makes a 4S 550 for a little bit more runtime, and they even have that 4S 650. I would not go up to the 650. That Gecko frame does not have the carbon fiber oriented perfectly. it's okay, but the arms are a little bit weak, so you want to keep your all-up weight down in order for that particular frame to be durable. If you break that frame and you want something more durable, the BQE Rip Squeak Micro. I have a bunch of build videos from the last like 2 months, and I'm about to start a new Rip Squeak Micro build. That's my current favorite 3-inch frame. That Gecko frame is great. Now, it's not great. It's fine. It's good. I'm going to call it good. I wish Armatan would get with the program and believe what every single other frame designer knows to be true, which is that you need to orient the carbon so that the strands go the length of the arms. Chris from Armatan refuses to do that, and his frames suffer a little bit for it. That being said, there's some really cool things that I really like about the Gecko. It really pisses me off that he won't cut the carbon properly. But yeah, that frame is going to be totally fine for you. You've got the warranty. So yeah, break it, smash it, send it back. They'll send you another. Thanks again, dude. Super, super, super generous of you. Dauntless FPV says, oh, and we got that. Experimental RC, oh, we talked about that. Scroll. Richard says, my buddy got wasted and we had to go pick up his car from a parking garage next morning. I got to drive his stick shift Mini Cooper. That thing is a zippy go-kart. It was fun. Yeah, Mini Coopers are fun. They kind of suck to own because it's a BMW, so you pay BMW repair costs, and they're also not all that reliable, unfortunately. But yeah, they're a blast to drive. The original supercharged Mini Coopers. If I had the money, I would love to have one of those in a fleet. Ruby10 with a $4.99 super chat. He says, thanks for a great stream tonight. We're all glad to see you back in the saddle. Get some rest. You need some. Much love. Thanks, brother. Metal Dirtskin says, my wife was in a scary car wreck with her college friend who tried an ill-timed Scandinavian flick in his WRX. God. I don't... shit like... I don't know. After you've been into motorsports for a while, you realize the insanity of like doing shit like that on public roads, especially with somebody else in the car. I've done some pretty dumb stuff on public roads, but when I've been alone, like if there's somebody in the passenger seat, I just don't want to kill someone else, you know? But you have to make a lot of mistakes to gain that kind of insight, unfortunately. So I can't really talk because I've done some stupid shit. Last comment of the night from Richard. He tagged me and said, yes, it was a supercharged Mini for the win. Yeah, they're super, super, super fun. Thanks for hanging, everybody. And thanks for all the incredibly generous super chats. You guys are super cool. Tomorrow there will be a stream. It'll probably just be a for fun sort of Patreon only stream. The Patreon only, I basically stream every day. Sundays and Mondays are fully public. Wednesdays are usually fully public as well. All the days in between, during the time of the stream, it is public. So if you guys subscribe and click the bell and do all that nonsense, you can maybe catch it. The replay of those streams is Patreon only. I'm trying to just give the Patreons that are supporting me as much content as possible to make it as worthwhile as I can. So yeah, there you go. Subscribe. Supposedly, I'm supposed to tell you guys that I'm close to 5,000 subs. I don't really care. I just make good content and hang out with awesome people, you guys. So thanks for coming and hanging. Subscribe if you want. Click like if you want. Or just go feverishly masturbate for an hour. I don't know. Do whatever you want. Here comes some random... Here comes a random battery from who knows where. Oh, that's a pole. Enjoy. Thanks for hanging, fellers. Come on. There's too many buttons. There's too many buttons to hit, guys. There's too many buttons. There we go. There's one of them. There's a button. Oh god, no. What? Why did that stop? Forgot how to stream. Forgot how to stream, guys. Hold on, I'll get there. I'm getting there. It's happening. Here it is. Here's some flying. See some of you guys tomorrow.